Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So, if you're ready, Mataji, we can get started, okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna, all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanditanscha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Naam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Antakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Shri Radha Madhava ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. This is a song written by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Kavamala, and it is also mentioned in the Manas Siksha book. It's called the Volume 2 Prarthana Paddhati. Gange Gaurangi Purangi Nangi Vishana Jita Koti Tubhimpasya Amudambara Samrita Navina Vallavi Vrindadam Nilo Malika Divyaratnadi Alankara Sevyamana Tanu Shriyam Vidagda Mandala Gurum Gana Gaurava Mandita Ati Preshta Vayasyavi Ashtabhi Abhiveshtita Chanchala Panga Bangena Vyakuli Krita Keshava Goshtendra Suta Jivatu Ramya Bimbadaramritam Tvamasuyachate Natva Vilutan Yamunatate Kakubhivyakula Swanto Jano Vrindavaneshwari Vitadaskepi Ayoghepi Janesmin Pumatavapi दास्य दान प्रदानस्य लवमपि उपपादय युक्तस्त्वया जनो नैव दुःखितोऽयम् उपेक्षितुम् कृपाद्योतद्रवचित्त न विनातासि यत्सदा कृपाद्योतद्रवचित्त न विनातासि यत्सदा कृपाद्योतद्रवचित्त न विनातासि यत्सदा श्रीराधिके नमोऽस्तु ते 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 श्री श्री राधा श्याम श्री वृंदावन श्रील रूप गोस्वामी की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. Translation. O Queen, whose fair limbs are more splendid than pure gold. O Queen, whose eyes are as charming as the doe's eyes. O Queen, whose face defeats millions of moons. O Queen, dressed in garments as dark as monsoon clouds. O Queen, who is the crowning garland of mallika flowers on the decorated braided hair of the young gopis. O Queen, whose beauty is served by many splendid transcendental jewels and other ornaments. O teacher of the intelligent and expert gopis, O Queen elaborately decorated with a host of transcendental virtues, O Queen accompanied by your 8 very dear friends. O Queen, who arouses Lord Keshava with the waves of your restless sidelong glances. O Queen, whose nectar bimba fruit lips have become the food of the Prince of Vraja. O Queen of Vrindavana, bowing down and rolling about on the Yamuna shore, this person with an agitated heart and a choked voice appeals to you. Even though he has committed offenses, even though he is unqualified, and even though his intelligence is crooked, please give this person a small particle of your devotional service. Because the fresh butter of your heart is always melting in the splendor of your transcendental mercy, it's not proper for you to neglect this anguished person. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So beautiful. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So first we offer our prayers. Om Jnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatha Titam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So now we offer prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangopangostra Pashnam Yagnai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship and to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his companions, associates, servants, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharne Kanipunau Shadadharma Samsthapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizing all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayad Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagvat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Prabhupada. Again, welcome back. So, this morning for me, but for you the last night, Sharad Prabhuji did lesson 30. So now I'll be continuing from lesson 31 onwards. 31 we shall be doing today, right now. But before I begin 31, let's hear the recap of lesson 30 that Sharad Prabhuji did that. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday we did chapter 22, as you said, lesson 30, which is about the Prayojana Tattva. Now, Prayojana Tattva begins with the Bhava Tattva. This lesson comprises 3 themes and questions of Vijay Kumar 56 to 70. in theme 1, the final verse of Dashmula Tattva, its glories and its Shruti Phala is covered. So Prabhuji started with giving the essence of all the verses of Dashmula Tattva and also gave the background, the story wherein all the devotees are gathered in Shiva Sangana doing Harinam Sankirtanam. It is when Babaji gets into the state of Bhava and he starts crying and asking for Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatana and the other acharyas. That's when the devotees around him, they try to pacify him, saying that Sri Rupa and Sanatana are in his heart, and Sri Gaur and Nitai are dancing here in front of him. That is when Babaji actually sees Gaur Nitai dancing in front of him. So this was the scene where Vijay Kumar and Rajanath were also there, and after the kirtan, they ask Babaji about the bhava, to which Babaji says that it will be covered in the last verse of the Dashmula Tattva. Now this is theme 1, the final verse, that is the 10th verse of Dashmula Tattva, which is explained in 2 parts, that is Dashmula verse 10a and Dashmula verse 10b. Now in the first part, we see that the Jiva realizes his original spiritual form when his sadhana bhakti is matured. And this is possible by the power of Lord's Ladini Shakti, that he actually realizes the aesthetic love of Madhurya Rasa. And he then gets the darshan of Sri Radha Krishna of Vrindavana in his heart, following which he attains love for Lord, preeti for Lord, and gradually attains happiness and good fortune, which is only unique to the spiritual world. It has it has nothing to do with the material world. That is when he enters the Lord's pastimes and he attains the direct service of the Lord, which is the highest of everything. Now, in the Dashmulya Tattva, verse 10, the part B, the Prayojana is described, which is the goal of life. The goal of life is Krishna Prem. So, the devotee starts off asking questions about who is the Supreme Lord, about the individual spirit soul, and about the material world. His inquisitiveness makes him learn the scriptures and follow the path of bhakti. During the process, all his offenses, sins, and past material pious deeds and his aspiration for impersonal liberation all are destroyed. And he starts thinking of himself as a servant of the Lord, and he is throughout engaged in the holy name Lord's in Harinam Sankirtan in Sadhu Sangha. So the Shruti Phala of Dashmula Tattva, it's the glory is that one who understands and reads the Dashmula Tattva gets the essence of the entire teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the person who is carefully studying them is free from ignorance and he attains spiritual love in Sadhu Sangha. So this was theme 1. Now we come to theme 2, where Vijay Kumar asks about Bhava Tattva. He wanted Babaji to elaborate on the subject of Bhava Tattva. So for this, the the prerequisite understanding of the Bhava Tattva are given. So the first the first concept is to know the constitutional characteristic of Bhava Tattva, that is the Swarupa Lakshana. The Swarupa Lakshana is that it is situated in Shuddha Sattva Vishesha Rupa Tattva, that is, it is situated in unalloyed goodness and it has no connection with Maya whatsoever. And then its nature is basically Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna can be known only by his through his internal potency, which is Swarupa Shakti. And Lord Swarupa Shakti has three aspects, that is the Sandhini Shakti, which is eternity, the knowledge-giving potency, that is the Samavita potency, and the pleasure-giving potency, which is the Ladini potency. So the knowledge and taste for the Lord's name, form, and pastimes can be achieved through the Lord Samavit Shakti and the Ladini Shakti. So Bhava, the another name of Bhava is Rati. And this Bhava, this Rati is also called a small ray of love, prema, or a premankura, a sprout of prema, which is a very small part of Lord's love, a very small glimpse of it. So one must know these components of the Bhava Tattva. Then further, how this Bhava is manifested in the devotee's heart was explained. Now, in case of Nitya Siddha devotees, this is eternally present. It is manifested. There is no question of manifestation. In case of Baddha Jivas, it has to be manifested, and it first starts off in the mental faculties. So the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord is by the mercy of the Lord, or by the mercy of Lord's devotees. This Swarupa Shakti is manifested in the heart of the devotees, and Lord's knowledge-giving potency and pleasure-giving potency, they work together to and begin this act in the devotee's heart. And this combination of Samvit Shakti and Ladini Shakti reveals the Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana, that is the science of Krishna consciousness, and gives a transcendental taste to the devotee in his heart. And these causes softening of the heart and arousal of aesthetic transformation, which is Sattvika Vikara. Then after the break, we covered the Rajnath's question 166 to 170 about the kinds of bhavas. So there are two types of bhavas according to the place and of origin. So primarily it is it comes from the sadhana bhakti, which is again of two types. The first one is the Vaidhi bhakti, and then the Raganuga bhakti. In the Vaidhi bhakti, the Bhakti Lata is started, which is first, it gets started off with wherein faith is created. That is the first step, which comes to following faith. Nishtha comes, that is steadiness and determination. Following that, Ruchi is developed, that is attraction for the Lord. And Ruchi further progresses to Asakti, that is attachment to the Lord, and which comes to the final destination, which is love for the Lord, or Rati for the Lord. But in Raganuga Bhakti, directly it starts off from Ruchi, followed by love for the Lord. And the second type of bhava, which is very rare, it comes from the mercy of Lord himself and his devotees. So when Lord bestows his mercy in three ways: by vachika, by words, that is when he says that the supremely auspicious, uninterrupted bhakti will arise in you. So through Lord's words, it will manifest. And then by Lord's glance, that is the example of the sages in the forest is given, who had never seen Lord, but simply they receive bhava, they attain bhava simply by Lord's vision. And third is when it is manifested in the devotee's heart. Example of Sukdev Goswami is given. And Jagai and Madai, who received bhava by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also this bhava is attained by the mercy of Lord's devotees. Example of Narad Muni is given. Through his mercy, Dhruva and Prahlada attained bhava. And many people attain bhava by the mercy of the 6 Goswamis and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Then we come to the Vijay Kumar's question about the symptoms of the bhava. What are the symptoms of this bhava? So 9 symptoms were mentioned, starting off with tolerance, that is Shanti and Shama. One remains unagitated even in troublesome and agitated situations. The second symptom is where one does not waste any time without hearing and chanting and remembering the Lord. The third symptom is virakti from sense gratification, which is not external and which has come from within. The fourth symptom is a person is free from pride of wealth, beauty, high position, and all the other vanities of material world. The fifth symptom is one is has unwavering faith that in Lord's protection and mercy. The sixth symptom is laulyam. One attains extreme greed for the love of Lord in the heart. And the seventh symptom is the taste for Harinam Sankirtan and other types of bhajana is forever increasing. And the eighth symptom is the unsatiable thirst for hearing about Lord's forms, qualities, and pastimes. And the ninth symptom is extreme affection for Lord's abodes, where he resides and where he has enacted his pastimes. These are the symptoms which after hearing the symptoms, Rajanath asks Babaji, if these emotions, these symptoms are present, that means the person has attained love for Lord Krishna. So Babaji says, no, it is only when the heart is completely pure that this love arises in the heart. And these symptoms can be seen in other kinds of devotional emotions also. And the true bhava will not appear in a person who is not a devotee of Lord Krishna and who desires sense gratification and impersonal liberation. And they may manifest in a small glimpse, but that is a bhava bhasa. That is not the original bhava. So you may see a person participating in Harinam Sankirtan, but inside he's actually thirsting for sense gratification and impersonal liberation. So he may also show some symptoms of these bhavas, but these are not true. These are just an external display. So this is called bhava bhasa, which further is explained in Rajanath's questions of 174, wherein Babaji describes the two kinds of bhava bhasa. That is the pratibimba rati abhasa, which is a reflection of the aesthetic love. So in pratibimba rati abhasa, a person is desiring impersonal liberation, and because he finds that path very difficult, and he opts in for an easier path, which is chanting of the holy name. But it is basically for attaining impersonal liberation. So he can show symptoms like shedding of tears and having goosebumps on his bodies, but this is just a small glimpse. It is not the true bhava, and because pure bhava will not appear in that kind of desires. One has to be very pure, and one has to seek pure love of God to attain pure bhava. So this pratibimba bhava is cannot bring eternal auspiciousness, because once the person has achieved his material goals, he stops his devotional service, which is actually an offense to the holy name. Now we come to the second kind of bhava bhasa, which is the chhaya rati abhasa. That is the dim shadow of the aesthetic love. Now this is about a neophyte, honest devotee who is not so learned in the spiritual science, but he comes in contact with Lord's devotees and listens his pastimes. That is when, due to his pious good deeds, he and the contact with the devotees, this small shadow of devotion of rati is shown, and this can be transferred in sadhu sangha into genuine pure love for Lord, but it may also disappear if there are offenses. So this was about the bhava bhasas. Then we come to the last theme of the chapter, wherein Babaji recommends Vrajanatha to settle down in Grahasthashram. So after hearing the Dashamula Tattva and the Bhava Tattva, both Vijay Kumar and Vrajanatha, they are completely filled with love and with extreme humility, they submit to Babaji, and Babaji also with great compassion accepts them as his disciple. That is when Vijay Kumara gives in to Babaji, saying about that Vrajanatha does not want to get married, and he's going against the wishes of the elders of the family, because he is in favor of Parivrajaka Sannyasa. So, but they say to Babaji that we will follow whatever you tell us to do. That is when Babaji gives the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He recommends Vrajanatha, as he is young, to serve Lord Krishna in Grahastha Ashrama, and he also tells him that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu greatest mercy was received by householders, and one should not give in to sannyas ashram unless one is qualified for it. One should remain as a householder and serve Lord Krishna in Grahastha ashram. So both Vijay Kumar and Babaji follow Babaji's Vijay Kumar and Rajnath follow Babaji's advice. And now this ended lesson 30 yesterday, and today Prabhuji will carry on with lesson 31. Over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Samata Mataji. As usual, you've done wonderfully, beautifully. You've done that. So now we begin with part 3. Part 2, that was Dashamula Tattva, that Sharad Prabhuji just completed. Now part 3 is about Nama Tattva. Now the book which I am referring, that has this considered like part 3, but the other 2 books also I refer, they consider this part 3 as part of the part 2, so that's a little minor difference, but there is a problem, a significant problem with the book I refer. There are a lot of printing errors. Some of them are very, very serious, in place of Rajnath, you see the name of Vijay Kumar and so on like that. Sometimes the speaker and the questioner, they get confused, So that's the reason I refer to all 3 books, and whichever the 2 books out of the 3 agree, that's where I take it, So nonetheless, I just thought I would just point out to you, there are a lot of printing errors, very poorly proofread, So this part is a Nama Tattva. There are 3 chapters, chapter 23, 24, and 25, and corresponding lessons 31, 32, 33. Today we will do chapter 23, that is lesson 31, and that gives the broad perspective of this Nama Tattva, the science of Harinam. And tomorrow we will do Nama Prada, and following that, next week, we will do Nam Abhasa. Just like in this last chapter that Sharad Prabhuji did, there also we see this Abhasa, Bhava Abhasa, 2 kinds, Pratibimba, that is reflection, and then that is a shadow, that is Chaya. So here also something very similar, we are going to see that, okay? So I hope everybody can see my screen. Everybody can see that?
Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
And you all can hear me, right, clearly?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Audio is
Prabhuji,
very clear.
clearly.
Okay,
It is very clear.
thank you very much. So there are, this is what describes the themes. There are totally 7 themes corresponding to all 3 chapters, okay? Chapter 23, chapter 24, and chapter 25 correspond to lesson 31, 32, and 33. So here, the 7 themes that I've listed here. In today's class, 3 of the 7 themes that we will cover. It's generally all about the philosophical truth about concerning Harinam. And I just told you, it's really a broad perspective. So first we will hear, that is theme 1, there are two kinds of Harinam. When we refer Harinam, there are two kinds of names that we will see, And the second theme, how we will see how different scriptures, so many scriptures, in fact, the author refers to it, and they very profusely glorify Harinam, Lord's very holy name, And the third theme is all about the 64 limbs of devotional service that we covered previously, Rupa Goswami's from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And they are all included within Navada Bhakti, because the question was raised, because there's Babaji said there's always a recommendation that we should always chant Hare Krishna, preferably 24 hours of the day. And that obviously seems quite impractical. That was the reason why Brajanath is asking, how is it possible? So in response to that question, that concern, we learn that here, all the 64 limbs of bhakti, they are really included in this Navada Bhakti, the ninefold devotional service, beginning with hearing, chanting, and remembering. And the most important aspect is the chanting of the holy name. If you can do that without any kind of offense, that all the 64 angas of devotional service, they are included in it. So it makes much more simplifying. So then we will see in lesson 32, chapter 24, the Nama Aparada, how to chant or do a chanting of the holy name without any kind of offenses. So there are 10 kind of offenses that you are all familiar, and we did in 2 other courses also, actually, notably Prema Vivarta at great length. We did Madhurya Kadambini, but here again, that topic is repeated, but lot more clarity. All the 10 offenses that's been explained, I thought that very clearly, wonderfully explained. So you will hear something new about it. So it's a detailed explanation of each of the 10 offenses to the holy name. Okay, so that is 4th theme. Then the next weekend we will do lesson 33, and that is chapter 25. The remaining themes 5, 6, and 7. So they will mostly talk about the Nam Abhasa, or the semblance of chanting the holy name. There are different kinds of definition, what we call Abhasa. Abhasa means not real, but seemingly like real. Okay, so that's why I call semblance. So there are 3 different definitions of that. And then we will also see the interrelationship between the 3 different definitions of this Nama Abhasa. And of course, we will see the interrelationship between the Bhakti Abhasa, Bhava Abhasa, Nama Abhasa, and even Vaishnava Abhasa, in even terms of Shraddha, the faith. There could be a real faith, and that could be also a kind of a semblance, seeming like real, but not quite. So final theme will kind of summarize the Nam Abhasa, different kinds of it. Okay? So this is what I did just now, is I really walked you through all 3 chapters and what to expect. That's what I just did right now. So let's now dive in with today's lesson, and that is what's shown in this yellow box. So here, what we see now, Brajanath is asking question. This is question number 79. he's asking about this, the two kinds of Harinam. Okay, what are they? The first kind, these are called primary, Sanskrit called Mukhya, names of Bhagavan, that is Shri Krishna, who is eternally present in the spiritual world, and that is beyond material time and space. Okay, so when we invoke those names, those are the personal names of the Supreme Lord. And then there's the second category, and that is kind of secondary, or Gauna, a Sanskrit name. And those names refer to the Lord's material creation. And as we all will know, that is done by the three expansions of Lord Vishnu. So when we chant the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu is also Supreme Lord, actually, in one category, he's non-different from Krishna, but nonetheless, Lord Vishnu is an expansion, and his primary role is creating these different universes and so on like that. So when we chant the holy name, that includes Lord Vishnu. So in that kind of capacity, that he is the creator of these material universes. So that is what we invoke, and then the others, there are the controlling of the three modes of material nature. So these are the two broad categories. So let's first go into the primary, and that is the Supreme Lord as he is in the spiritual world, Lord Narayana. Of course, Lord Narayana's expansion is the three Vishnu expansion, of course, here. But Lord Narayana is also there considered as the primary. Okay, then the expansion is Lord Vasudeva, the the fourfold expansions, Vasudeva, then Rishikesha, the Lord who is known to the controller of our senses. Then Janardana, he is situated everywhere, all everywhere, even in the atoms also. Okay. Then Lord Hari, which is very, very close to Lord Shri Krishna. Achyuta, Achyuta means, the very meaning of Achyuta means who is infallible. Then, of course, very sweet name. I particularly prefer Govinda. Govinda is very close, that is Krishna. Then Gopala, that is Krishna in Vraja, Vrindavan. And of course, Lord Ramachandra. And finally, of course, Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, all inclusive. So when we chant any of this, then that constitutes the primary names, okay? And that is the most appropriate chanting. With Mahamantra, we are invoking Lord Shri Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's where Krishna is invoked directly. And Krishna means, along with his potencies, energy, and his pleasure potency, that is Srimati Radharani. Krishna is never without Radha, and Radha is never without Krishna. So we invoke both names in this Mahamantra. And Hare Rama, Rama is not Lord Ramachandra. Actually, it is Lord Balarama. Okay? So that is what the primary names. Among the secondary names, just I explained to you, there is invoking the creation of material universes and material worlds. So as a creator, as a Srishti Karta, the Sanskrit name for that is what Lord Vishnu is there. And he is also the protector of the universe, Jagat Pata. And then he's also the controller, Vishwa Niyanta, Niyantran, matlab controlling. And he's also the protector and the maintainer, Vishwa Palaka, and then he is Paramatma, is expansion of Lord Vishnu, situated in everyone's heart and every atom of the universe. That is Paramatma, the super soul. And then controller, that is I just said that. And sometimes Lord Brahma is not Lord Brahma, it's Brahman. Okay? Three expansions of the absolute truth in three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan himself. Okay, so that's what is mentioned right here. Summary: while no connection with the material world, that is the primary names. When holy name Bhagavan descends in the material world, and it has all the potencies, all potencies are included, and destroys the illusory potency Maya. Okay, the Maya cannot exist. Maya has no jurisdiction when we talk about the primary names. When we talk about secondary names, while chanting, the secondary names are beneficiary, no doubt about it, in many, many different ways, but they do not directly or quickly bring the highest spiritual benefit. So that we need to recognize, all right? So when we say holy name, really it's chanting the Mahamantra. Okay, now I told you this, the second theme is how different scriptures, they very profusely glorify the holy name. So that we will go through this list. It's a fairly lengthy list, but it's worth going through that, okay? This is from Brihad Naradya Purana. The holy name, this is a very famous verse, you know, Namahi Kevalam, Namahi Kevalam, Namahi Kevalam, like that, you know. So holy name 3 times repeated to emphasize the significance, the importance of Lord Hari is my very life in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, and that is Kali Yuga, especially in Kali Yuga. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Again, 3 times repeated to emphasize Namahi Kevalam, Namahi Kevalam, you know. So that is a very famous verse. Then there is one in Garuda Purana. The holy name has unlimited power. The only name that uproots all the sins of the conditioned soul. So chanting of the holy name that abolishes, that neutralizes all the sinful reactions that we might commit to the sinful acts. Okay, like as burning in a great forest of fire of sins. It really burns down everything to the ashes, all the sinful reactions. So chanting of the holy name, that's how really it helps us. Then there is a Skanda Purana. A person who takes shelter of the holy name becomes free from all sufferings, because sufferings is the cause of our sinful reactions. And the sinful reaction are the cause of our sufferings. So when we chant, all the sinful reactions are taken care of. So because of that, we become free from all the klesha. Klesha is the Sanskrit name for the sufferings. And holy name has that power to destroy all sufferings, both prarabdha karma that is already fructified, and then aprarabdha karma, that is we committed the sins, but the suffering has not yet started. But indirectly, there is expressed like kutam, bijam, you know, the proclivity and the seeds of this material desire, things. So that all these 4 kinds of papa, the sufferings that are completely removed. That is from the Skanda Purana. Then Brahmanda Purana. A person who chants the holy name of Lord Hari purifies his family, friends, and all others. So if there is, as it is said, when Prahlad Maharaj was worried about his father Hiranyakashipu, who offended the Supreme Lord, Lord Narahari, so then Lord Rishabhadeva reassured him that don't worry, because you are the devotee born in the family 21 generation before and 20 generation after. They are all going to be taken care of that. So that is the power of chanting the holy name. Then Brihad Vishnu Purana, a person who is devoted to the holy name becomes totally free of all suffering. Again, that's the repetition of the earlier we saw that. Then the sixth one, the age of Kali cannot cause trouble for a person who loudly chants the holy name of Lord Hari. This is again from Brihad Naradya Purana. Then from this Nrsimha Purana, simply hearing the holy name of Lord Hari, the residents of hell become delivered. That's what we saw in one of the classes when Krishna visited to rescue the son of his guru. He promised that as Guru Dakshina, and Guru Sandipani Muni's son had been drowned in the ocean. And so he went all the way to Yamaraj, to rescue. So when he went there, all the suffering souls in the Yamaloka are just witnessing, seeing Lord Krishna there. They were all completely excused of all sinful reactions. So that is one story. Then there is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter. By loudly chanting the holy name, a person destroys his prarabdha reaction. As I just told you, it abolishes both prarabdha, fructified karma, as well as that they are not yet fructified aprarabdha karma. Then again, Skanda Purana, the holy name of Lord Hari is more glorious than all the Vedas. Then moving on, Vamana Purana, the holy name of the Lord Hari is more glorious than all the holy places. It already includes when you chant Hare Krishna as if you physically witnessed, physically visited the holy places, because Lord Hari actually resides in his name. Then this is again from Skanda Purana. Even a glimpse of the Nam Abhasa that we are going to cover tomorrow of the holy name is infinitely better than all material pious deeds. Then Skanda Purana, the holy name of the Lord Hari gives all the benefits. And that is what it means here, not only material, but basically spiritual benefits. The holy name of Lord Hari has all these supreme powers. Continuing, the holy name of Lord Hari brings bliss to the entire world, peacefulness. Okay, all the anxiety is completely gone. That is what chanting of the holy name gives you. That all the anxiety is because of our sinful acts. The stress, material stress, if you have, that is also completely taken care of that. The entire world bows down before a person who chants loudly the holy name. That is the potency of the holy name. Even somebody is chanting, it's very, one of the 6 characteristics is this one, that's Subhada, all auspiciousness. Then Padma Purana, the holy name is the only shelter of those who do not have any shelters. कहते हैं कि इसका कोई नहीं है, उसका भगवान है, right? So this is what it is all about. So we are invoking the Supreme Lord when we chant his holy name. Even nobody is there, we are totally anatha. He is the ultimate taken care of ourselves. Then this is another one, Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. One should chant the holy name of Lord Hari always and everywhere because of all these potencies. Why would anybody chant that after hearing the glory of the holy name? Certainly, that is the recommendation. Then the holy name easily gives impersonal liberation. Even if you don't want, devotees don't care of impersonal liberation, right? But that is included as a side gift, it's already part of it. But one should not just aim for impersonal liberation. In fact, devotees strive to not only even go to spiritual world, but even higher goal than that, and that is participate in Lord's pastimes. If Lord descends to the material world, devotee would like to come and descend with him as part of his entourage. So that is what we get, by chanting the holy name. Then holy names of Lord Hari sends the individual souls to the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. See, that's the spiritual world. The devotee wants to, because there it is the awe and reverence. The pure devotees of the Lord, they do not even care for, they won't even go to Golok Vrindavan Dham, and even higher than that, I just told you about it. Then by chanting the holy name, one pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He personally becomes very happy when we chant Hare Krishna. What it means, we are invoking the association of the Supreme Lord, and Lord is very, very happy. He is very happy because he is the one who has been waiting for us to approach him life after life after life. So many incarnate, so many of our different species, we take birth, 8.4 million species of life forms in 14 planetary system. He very patiently waits us until we invoke and take his shelter, the shelter of his holy name. So Lord is very patiently waiting for us. So when we do that, we are all very fortunate, all of you, that in this lifetime you are invoking the chanting of the holy name, you are invoking the Supreme Lord. So this is very, very auspicious. And that was from Skanda Purana, Padma Purana. So that's the ultimate final goal achieved by simply chanting the holy name. And the final one, the chanting the holy name of Lord Hari, is the best of all devotional activities. All devotional activities, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, all the 64 angas of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, is included in simply chanting the holy name. Okay? So that you can see very extensive list, all from so many different varieties of scriptures, and the scriptures, they are personified, okay, and they loudly glorify the chanting of the holy name. Okay, so now we go to the other questions. Rajnath is asking, how is it that the holy name, which is a series of syllables, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in just one particular, once you chant, you are invoking 16 names. So there are 16 syllables, okay? So what he's saying, these are all merely syllables, so how is that spiritual? Because they are syllables like material, that's what he thinks. When actually he is already far advanced as a devotee, obviously he's asking for the benefit of everyone, So here we get the answer. The holy name of Krishna is transcendentally blissful. It already invokes spirituality, right? It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, and Krishna is all spiritual, as we all know. Okay, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and it is the form of all transcendental mellows. So you can see that there is not a tinge of materialism, as Rajnath was worried about that. It's all spiritual. In fact, when we chant Hare Krishna, we are really in the spiritual world. Material modes of nature cannot touch you while you're chanting, because you're taking shelter of the holy name. So there is no way it is material name under any condition, and is no less powerful than Krishna himself. In fact, later on we'll hear In fact, the chanting of the holy name is even more powerful than Krishna himself, because Krishna invested his potencies in his holy name. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by any kind of material qualities, there is no question of its being involved with the three modes of material nature. When we chant Hare Krishna, Maya's three modes cannot touch us. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself is identical. So you cannot see any difference between the two. And this statement is from Padma Purana. So now this is a very important slide, okay? What I really wanted you to, I always say many times, remember that critical thinking. And this is that slide is very, very important. And I'll raise some points here and see if that occurs to you and see if you have possible answers, okay? So this is about the question Rajanath is asking. How can a name be different from other sounds in this material world? Chanting of the holy name, how is it so special about it? As we just heard, so much glorification in so many different scriptures. So what is so special about it? You just heard that it is all spiritual, but the sound, when we chant Hare Krishna, the sound is like any other sound that we are used to it in the material world. So basically, he's asking the sound itself is spiritual or what? So here is the answer. Now listen very carefully, okay? And what I'm going to ask you to think about it at the end of the class during the discussion period, we'll talk about it. First point, the holy name of the Lord. So how the spiritual benefits we get, this is stepwise that is explained here, okay? The holy name of the Lord descends from the spiritual world into the material world, because we are in the material world and we have this material body. So when we chant Hare Krishna, the holy name itself descends from the spiritual world, okay? So this is what is saying that. Point 2, let me show you this cursor here so you can actually pinpoint your focus on that point, okay? So point number 1, I'll repeat again. The holy name of the Lord descends from the spiritual world into the material world. That's one point, okay? Second point, only when the individual spirit soul situated in his original spiritual body then is eligible to pronounce the pure holy name. Now this is a very critical point. Did you get the point here? That this chanting of the holy name, it's all spiritual, but it can be done only in the spiritual body. And we have this material body. How do we understand that? Again, let's repeat. Only when this individual spirit soul situated in his original spiritual body, then only it's eligible to pronounce the pure holy name. Otherwise, it's not. Okay. Third point, that I put it in red lettering, okay, just to make a point. The material senses of the spiritual soul, because we are all spirit souls, right? Pure spirit souls, but we are encased. Our soul is covered with layers and layers of this gross body, first subtle body, and then there's a gross bodies, right? Subtle body is mano, buddhi, ahankar. That is also called linga sarira. And then there's a gross body. They say sthula sharira. So that is the outer coverings of the soul. We have that. So under that kind of situation, material senses of the spirit's soul imprisoned in this particular way has no power to pronounce the pure holy name. That's one point you got to keep in mind. The fourth point, however, by the mercy of the Lord's Ladini Shakti. So this is where I think somebody asked the question, Sharad Prabhuji's class, and I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's Lalita Priya Mataji. And what is the role of this Ladini Shakti? So here, that's what we hear. Okay. However, by the mercy of the Lord's Ladini Shakti, such a soul can now be situated in its original form. So now you understand the point. What is the role of Ladini Shakti when it descends in the heart? Okay. And there was a discussion about that. I'll mention in a moment. Okay. So note each point, and I want you to understand critically. On one side, we hear that in this material body, we really cannot pronounce the pure holy name. We may be chanting like any other sense, but not the purity of the holy name, you know. But because of being a devotee and we are chanting the holy name, as a devotee, the Lord Hari, the three potency I told you about, we discussed in Sharad Prabhuji's class at length. The three potency are Shandhini Shakti, that is the eternity. Then there is the knowledge-giving potency, knowledge of the Supreme Lord, not any other knowledge we are talking about, okay? And that is a Samavit Shakti, knowledge-giving potency, cognitions. The third is the Ladini Shakti, the bliss, okay? And that is the one descends in the devotee's heart. So that is the reason how we are able to chant Hare Krishna, or invoke the purity of it, you know. So that is point number 4, because that partially answers that, okay? That the soul, as long as it's covered by this gross and subtle body, there is no way a chanter can invoke the spirituality of the pure name, pure holy name, pure purity of that. But now we hear is the descent of the Lord's Ladini Shakti that enables us to accomplish that task. So then, by the mercy of the, so now the point number 5, then by the mercy of the holy name, it enters the devotee's thinking process. Now listen very carefully, okay? So this is where the confusion lies. On one hand, we hear the Ladini Shakti enters, okay? And now we are hearing the thinking, that is the mind. Thinking is done by mind, feeling, thinking, and the mind is also as a part of intelligence. Intelligence, what? We are able to analyze what is good, what is not so good, you know. So now with the point number 5 says, then by the mercy of the holy name, it enters the devotee's thinking process and then descends to the tongue, provided the tongue is purified by devotional service. And chanting of the holy name is part of the devotional service. So it's a cooperative phenomenon. Okay? The material tongue begins chanting, but as more and more it chants, tongue is being purified at the same time. So its potency of the chanting, it keeps on exponentially increasing all the time. So on that tongue, the chanting of the holy name, so actually, literally it means that holy name is dancing on our tongue. The final point number 6. The holy name may deceptively seem like a series of syllables, as Rajanath was asking. It is deceptive, not reality. It may seem like that, but that's not the fact. When it dances on this so-called material tongue. Okay? But that is being constantly being purified as we chant Hare Krishna. But it remains all spiritual. That is the secret of the holy name. Okay. So now I wanted you to understand this point mentioned in the earlier points here, that this chanting of the purity of the name, holy name, it can only be done right here. See that point number 2. Only when the individual spirit soul situated in his original spiritual body. Okay, that is what the point I want you to think critically. What does this, what is it trying to say? Only original spiritual body. And that we get only when we become free from material encasement. Soul becomes free when he drops both gross body and the subtle body. So that is what the spiritual form, original spiritual form. But does it mean the linga sharira or the subtle body? Does it mean that? And if it is subtle body, as we know, it is part of material body. Subtle body is part of material because it's mano buddhi ahankar. As long as we have ahankar, means not being proud, but it's the bodily conception of life, false ego, not the right kind of ego. When we have that, so there's a false conception of I and me, I and mine. I am this body, everything that is extension of my physical body is mine. My wife, my children, my car, my house, my friends, my relatives, and all these things. So that's as a false conception. The right ego is that means I am spirit soul, not this body. And I am the servant of the Supreme Lord, and I'm meant to serve him. That is the right kind of I and mine conception. Okay. So here, what is it referring? I'm asking you the question. Because it says original spiritual body, eligible to pronounce, only that can announce. So what does it mean? As we chant, our body also gets being spiritualized. And I explained you many, many times, being spiritualized, why still we have this body, that means 3 modes of material nature no longer acts. So is it that form of the subtle body that's what invokes this particular being, our ability to chant pure holy name, pronounce pure holy name? So subtle body, mano buddhi ahankar, mind, is that what it is? Or spiritualized? Or what does it really mean, original spiritual body? Does it refer when we become liberated, we get spiritual body, right? Original spiritual body. When it came to material existence, then we get this outer coverings, this gross body and subtle body. So that spiritual form that is talked about, could that be a spiritualized subtle body? But that is part of material body, right? But it's spiritualized as the power of devotional service, chanting of the holy name itself. So what is it? That's what I want you to think about it, okay? So let's move on. So now you understand. And I told you about that. In fact, you are going to hear the evidence in the class in just a matter of couple of weeks, okay? You will be hearing that there is a statement that the holy name descends actually in the heart. And then whatever we feel in the heart has a feeling. Now, feeling, I told you, feeling is part of the mind, right? Thinking, feeling, willing, and being able to analyze. Intelligence is part of it, okay? So what is this really heart means? The mind is part of the heart, actually. Mind is not the brain. You have to understand that. Mind is not brain. Okay? Brain is the outer intelligence we attribute to the brain, right? But it's actually just an organ outlet. real is part of mind, and the mind is actually referred as part of the heart, and it transmits throughout the body actually, you know. But the heart, when we say heart, quote unquote, is not necessarily the heart organ that we are talking about. See, in a normal language, we talk about the heart of the matter. When we talk about that, the real point of this statement, the heart of that matter, when we talk about it, we're not referring to the heart as an organ. Okay, so here we are talking about that the central main part of our being. That is what it is. You know. Okay, I think I've analyzed quite a bit and think about it. So let's continue. So here, question number 82, of the preliminary names of the Lord, which one is the most sweetest? One utterance of the name. So this is now a comparative, okay? One utterance of Lord Vishnu is better than all the Vedas, okay? But one utterance of the name Rama is equal to 1,000 utterance of the name Vishnu, okay? And then the next statement, the pious result derived from chanting the 1,000 holy names of Vishnu can be attained just 3 times by one repetition of the holy name of Krishna. So Krishna is 3 times more powerful, Lord Ramachandra, and Lord Ramachandra's chanting is 1,000 times powerful than all the Vedic mantras and so on like that. So third point, therefore the holy name of Lord Krishna is the best. That's why Mahamantra. That is why Sri Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taught us this Mahamantra that begins with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. You should always chant that mantra. Okay, now let's take a break. So I deliberately take a lot more time than I had originally planned. But this was an important point for you to remember, think about it. Okay. Get ready. Okay, now question number 83. What is the path of chanting the holy name? In what way we should be chanting? Actually, that's what it is asking. How we should chant. The recommended path is to chant on our japa beads. Japa beads are made from tulsi, tulsi plant. Okay, that's the best. If you don't have, then you can chant in the fingers. And why do we want to chant? Because then we know exactly how many rounds we're chanting. We keep track of it, and our goal is to keep increasing that. Okay, 16 rounds in initiation that we have been told in ISKCON. That is just the minimum. Okay, ideally we should be chanting all the time. So that is the way to chant Tulsi. And besides, another reason, Tulsi is very, very dear to Lord Shri Krishna. So that is another reason also, And the purpose of counting is to know whether or not the number of names that we chanted is gradually increasing, more and more rounds. And since Tulsi is very dear to Lord Krishna, and touching Tulsi beads is one chants the holy name brings better results. Chanting the holy name purely one attracts Krishna prema. That is what our goal is there. Okay, it's question 84. There is this Navada Bhakti process and then 64 limbs of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Vrajnath is asking that you are saying we should chant all the time, 24 hours a day, but that is impractical. Nobody can chant 24 hours a day. So how is it possible? So Babaji is telling him that simply following this Navada Bhakti, beginning with hearing, chanting, and remembering the ninefold devotional service, in that all the 64 angas are included. And most important part of the ninefold process is chanting the holy name. Everything is included. If you do that, all the 64 angas are already included in that. Okay. Then question number 85, what does this particular statement mean actually? To always chant the holy name actually mean? Unless one has this Guru's mercy. So Vrajnath is saying that of course, if you give us that mercy, Babaji is their spiritual master. Unless you have this mercy for me, then it is impossible for me to do that, So that's what exactly it means, It's like a very lofty goal that is practically impossible for most of us to chant all the time. So here says, other than the time when one sleeps, one can chant the holy name throughout the day as one performs various activities. So just because we are doing something else, how a mind is always working, right? Mind is thinking all the time. Mind is going all around the world while we are doing something else. So how mind is able to do that? So why can't we train the mind to chant Hare Krishna also in practical terms? That's what it means actually. So doesn't mean that you hold the japa beads and keep chanting. Say something you are doing that you need your hands to work on that. Like on PC, I prepare my PowerPoints all the time, and a reading or something. Reading, I'm doing spirituality, everything, not necessarily all the novels and things like that. Okay, but whenever you are doing something for the Lord, it actually amounts. You are chanting for the holy name. You are invoking the Supreme Lord. So that's what it really means. 24 hours of the time. So, just like the mind, I'm just telling you a material example. How is we might be working on something, you're cooking, ladies, matajis, but you might be thinking about your husband or your children in the school, like that, you might be thinking, right? So if mind is able to do that, why can we train the mind to chant Hare Krishna also while we're doing something else? So it is not just because you're doing something else, doesn't mean that you are not able to do that. You train your mind doing that. That's what the whole essence of this particular slide is all about. Then please describe the pure holy name of the Lord Krishna, and all other things that we should know. So things that I have not yet asked, you decide what should I be asked you, Basically, he's saying that. So when the holy name of the Lord Krishna appears in a person who has full faith and who practices unalloyed devotional service, that is said to be the true holy name of the Lord. So that ultimately, really, you need faith to chant Hare Krishna, right? But when you chant Hare Krishna cooperatively, it stabilizes, solidifies our faith in chanting also at the same time. That is said to be the true holy name of the Lord. When the holy name appears in any other situation, the name is either Namavasa or Nam Aparada, chanting of the offense. So what you really have to do, really consciously, you have to have your mind occupied, engaged in chanting the holy name. You cannot watch TV and your fingers are going through the japa beads. Then you are not doing service to either of it. Sometimes once happened actually, I read in the story about Prabhupada. Somebody was hearing his lecture and also was chanting all the time. Many times, many devotees do that actually. So Prabhupada said that, are you really listening to my lecture, or are you really chanting the holy name? Or really engage your mind in it. So you cannot be doing service to either of it. You cannot be doing justice. If your mind is in chanting the holy name, then obviously you are not paying attention to what I'm saying. And if you are paying attention to what I'm saying, then obviously your mind is not in chanting the holy name. So you need to have to devote 100% of your mind in whatever you're doing. So you have to devote, you have to really dedicate a particular block of time when you chant Hare Krishna. That's what it means actually. So in any other situation, if you're doing that, then it is simply an abhasa, just a semblance of as if for the name's sake you're chanting, but what it really doesn't amount to it. And that is its efficiency, its potency. Of course, chanting the holy name is very potent, as we heard many, many times. Even by jokingly, if you chant, jokingly invoke Hare Krishna, it brings its own potency. But to realize its full potency, your mind has to be in that. So you need to dedicate a particular block of time. When you're totally free, no phone calls are accepted. Then question 87, should we call the holy name the goal, sadhya, or the means, sadhana? How do we call that? So how do you look at it? How do you think about it? That depends. So the answer is, in Vaidhi Bhakti, it is the means. Means by that we achieve this. That's what it means. When we say means, it's the process, abhideya, by which we attain a certain goal. Or is it a goal itself? So it's both, it is true actually. And the answer is that in Vaidhi Bhakti, it is the means by which we attain Krishna consciousness, purity of a soul, and so on like that. However, when one practices Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti, this chanting of the holy name actually becomes the goal itself, because you are directly developing, cultivating the love of God. When you reach to that particular higher stage, then that becomes the goal, Krishna Prema. So chanting itself, because you are in tune with Krishna himself directly. When you reach to that very high level of devotional service, so it can be both goal as well as the means. Then final question, is Lord Krishna really not different from his name, or it's not true? And we heard many, many times, chanting the holy name is non-different from Krishna. So here the answer is, there is not a slightest difference. However, there is one secret difference is there, confidentiality. The holy name is much more merciful than Lord Krishna himself. How do you understand that? And that is because Hare Krishna, Lord's potency, is Sri Radha, Srimati Radharani. And Sri Radha is more merciful than Krishna himself. Krishna goes by book. If you are not qualified, if you are not doing, then Krishna is not happy. But Radha, the more fallen we are, more merciful she is. And she can convince Krishna to look after such a devotee. If more fallen, he should be paying more, he deserves more attention. And she tells Krishna, and Krishna listens to her by her recommendation. So that is what we ought to be doing. So in reality, Krishna's holy name is more merciful because in their holy name, Srimati Radharani, Sri Radhe is invoked there actually, more merciful. If one commits an offense, Lord Krishna will not forgive. But if one commits an offense to the Lord or his holy name, then the holy name will be merciful itself and will forgive you. You should carefully understand the offenses to the holy name. Why should one avoid them? That is now the next topic that we are going to hear. Okay, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So it's open for discussion.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Such
So
a wonderful
we were
session,
all,
Prabhu.
when we heard about you, you were able to chant 192 rounds, something like that. That must be occupied you 24 hours of the day, and that's incredible feat that you accomplished. And we really would like to know more about it. How you have been able to do that, what it's actually meant. You must have given tremendous pleasure to you, to your soul,
Prabhu, I'll explain, Prabhu. It took around 28 hours, Prabhu. Okay.
It's just
To
incredible.
do 190 malas, it took around 28, 29 hours. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll just quickly explain, Prabhu. Okay, because first time I have done in my life. Hopefully I'm audible, Prabhu.
I was
Okay.
able to do once only maximum 64 rounds that I did that. Because Prabhupada at that time, they used to chant 64 rounds. So what it meant, and it took about something like over 8 hours constant chanting that required.
Correctly.
Once I did that. But that's all I could do, maximum.
Yeah. So on Thursday early morning, which is around 12 a.m., Prabhu. Okay, we went to a devotee house. Okay, over there we started this. Okay, for Haridas Thakur disappearance day. Okay, and that was the occasion. At around 12:15 or 12:20. Okay, I started, Prabhu. Okay, and after doing around 64 malas, like 264s, we thought of taking only dinner. Okay, otherwise no dinner. Okay, so it is like 12:15, 12:20 we started. So first 64 malas somewhere around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock were complete, Prabhu, at morning. Okay, and then I took breakfast, Prabhu. Okay, and then unfortunately second 64 took a lot of time, Prabhu. It's because many devotees are coming, and because of that, it was completed at around evening 8 a.m., Prabhu. Okay. Yeah, and then again started at around 8 a.m. And after completion, okay, it was the room was very hot, Prabhu. Okay, at around 10 o'clock, I thought like I'll come back to home and continue, and then it completed at around 4 a.m., Prabhu. Okay, that is how it is. Then, Prabhu, it's almost around 28, 29 hours. But one thing for sure is, Prabhu, it has given a completely different experience. I'll just talk a little about what is that experience. Okay.
Please share it with us. What is it like? What did you feel that?
Yes, Prabhu. Generally, what happens, Prabhu? Okay, I'll just tell the summary in one sentence, Prabhu. Okay, after generally any physical activity, you get tired, Prabhu. Yeah, lot of tired. You'll get lot of tired. You'll be tired, and next day you'll not be able to work. But very interestingly, Prabhu, I am so energetic yesterday. Okay, everybody asking what happened, why you're so energetic yesterday. Okay, I worked Friday. Yesterday is a Friday, right? I worked. Everybody's asking like why you are so energetic. I said like yesterday I was too completely off and I did 192 malas. Okay, See, personally, my experience is if I do a physical activity, energy drain out. If you do a spiritual activity, especially related to chanting, Krishna gives more energy, bro. This is like a practical experience, Prabhu, okay, which I'm saying. Okay. And even after doing 192 malas, if you close your eyes and go to the bed, no, that mantra is still like coming in your eyes, ears. Okay. That is still chants. Okay. But it's a lifetime experience, Prabhu. That's all I would say.
Thank you.
Everybody
Thank
has
you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It's very
and
inspiring.
energy is the one which I could literally compare. Okay. After 192 malas, I won't feel like I lost my energy or some energy. Okay. Physical energy or mental energy. In fact, I got the more energy. I don't know what to do with that.
Prabhuji,
So
I,
I could
I, I
stand that.
share with you my experience. See, I
Yes.
do this preparing this PowerPoints and all this thing, reading and everything. When I did almost like round the clock, 24 hours, I did that just a few days back, And just like you, I did not feel any kind of exhaustion at all, I'm still full of vitality, energy, and so on like that. Its intellect and everything was still there, So that is the
Exactly.
power and the potency of chanting the holy name.
Correct. One very, very interesting point, this one, Prabhu. Whatever you mentioned, whatever I mentioned is common. Physical laws doesn't work, okay, with the Krishna service, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Whatever Newton laws, physical laws are there, no, in this material world, doesn't work.
wonderful, wonderful. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
working for Krishna, and that is what I exactly felt the same thing. I'm still
That's what
full
I
of
feel, Prabhu. Like how we are working for 20 hours, 18 hours. Okay, now, after doing that for 192, I realize how do you work. Relish. You're actually relishing, Prabhu. You're literally enjoying. You're in a different world altogether. That's what I
Exactly.
could relate to. Yeah.
I tend to become completely oblivious of my surroundings, actually. Totally forget about everything else. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing that. You have any point or question?
Yes, Prabhu. I have only one question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Actually, the today's session is really wonderful, Prabhu, and it is all related to holy name. Okay, I heard from multiple sessions that 99% of our spiritual growth relies on chanting the holy name, Prabhu. Okay, and it is all linked with like how we are getting the pleasure. Okay, now I could link with Hladni Shikni. I think you have mentioned, I think point number 4, I guess. Okay, in that slide, Prabhu. Okay, Hladni Shakti is being entered. Because of that, like you are feeling that, okay, pleasure. Okay, it's not, I don't know, we don't have a right word, Prabhu. We can call it as a pleasure or not. Okay, but you feel some kind of happiness sometimes. But see, Prabhu, we do 16 malas. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that like one particular mala, I say that, okay, I don't want to feel that. Okay. I want to do mechanical. Every intention is that I want to do a better japa. Correct. But sometimes, even though I have the interest, I won't get the taste. But sometimes I get that. Yeah. That kind of, yes, happiness. But why that difference, Prabhu? Okay. I don't feel that one time I want, one time I don't want. I'm just doing it mechanically. Even though you have the intention, sometimes you don't get that. You are getting my question, Prabhu?
Yeah, I understand that. You're saying why it's happening like that? Why what is the reason? What is the secret? Why you don't feel tired and things like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Sometimes I get the taste. Okay. Yeah, I am chanting it, I am hearing it, and it is very good. But sometimes even you have the intention to hear it, you are hearing it, you don't get the taste.
It's the
You
point
are
is
getting
that,
it, Prabhu? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I got what you're asking actually. So I'll give you one example. Even material things, something which you really like it, love it, doing things, you don't realize, you don't feel tired at all doing same thing. So here also you are trying to really please your soul. Soul derives that satisfaction, happiness. So physical tiredness doesn't enter into that picture. Just like something very favorite, you want to do something. Let's say you're watching a movie and you really like that movie. The 3 hours passes, you don't even realize that completely, and you don't get tired. Something which you really enjoy. So this is a tiny example. When we chant Hare Krishna, you're doing spirituality, practice of spirituality. There's much more deeper than that, because tiredness, everything is material aspect of the physical body. It's just like the mind. when you train your mind to do something else, the physical body has limitations, but the mind has no limitation whatsoever.
Yes,
Daredevils, they can do this thing because the mind is totally occupied. So that's the reason why we don't feel tiredness, because there's this directly, you are occupying your very soul in it. Your very existence, your very being is occupied in that. The physical body is not involved there. That's the reason. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Let's give
Thank you very
chances
much,
to
Prabhu.
others also. Now,
Yes,
I
Prabhu.
think Raju is there waiting for that. You have a
Hare
question?
Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavata Pranam Prabhu. First of
Hare
all,
Krishna.
congratulations to Prashad Prabhu for a wonderful 192 round chanting. Very inspiring, Prabhu. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Prabhu, I have a question that very few very interesting topic you discussed. Even the 16th syllable is also the just mere sound. How is differentiate with this worldly sound? That is what a very detailed answer. The 5 points answer is a very interesting. I found the first one. He's saying that it is coming from the Goloka Dharma spiritual world.
Yeah.
Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. We do sing that one.
Yeah.
But even as a just a sake of argument, even all the jivas also part of the spiritual world. They are also came down from the spiritual world. That is a point number one. Because he's saying that because this why this is not a mere sound, this full potency is there. Why? How can we say that it is a complete spiritual energy? This uttering the holy name of the Lord. The first point he's saying that it is coming down from the spiritual world. To sake up the argument as a mundane point of view, even we are all the jivas came down from the spiritual world. All the utterness is also came from the spiritual world. How it is a difference between the holy name and the other name of the material world? That is point number one. Point number two is he also said that in the material body, we are not able to chant the holy name of the Lord purely in any stage. So we are all a material body, where until unless the person is a Paramahamsa stage, I'm talking about myself, we are all the material body. Then what stage we should expect this is going to happen for chanting the holy name of the Lord as a pure chanting of the holy name of the Lord? To answer that one, you made the point in the point number 5. The Haldini Sakti, Ladini Sakti is a one which is her mercy, we are able to chant the pure name of the Lord. Then is that Ladini Shakti's mercy is what it depends. Is it Laulem is individual Laulem is makes her persons to get that her mercy, or how the choicing is going to happen to get that mercy, Prabhu? Sorry for asking this. But this is all connecting each other, so that is what I put all the 3 points.
That is what I told you, but that's why I spent so much time in that particular key slide.
Yes, very interesting, Prabhu.
First of all, you have to understand the Ladini potency is actually Srimati Radharani. Okay, Sri Radhe. That is the Ladini potency, and her love for Krishna is unparalleled. Nobody can even come close to that, So she is the one who is helping us. In fact, in ISKCON, in Gaudiya, what we worship is Sri Radhe first. We worship Krishna through Radha, isn't it? So Sri Radhe is the embodiment of the very bhakti process, and chanting of the holy name is the chief element of bhakti process. So she is the one who descends in our heart when we reach to that particular stage, when we chant pure holy name. Right now, what we may be chanting, not all the time, we might be chanting Hare, pure holy name, because we might be committing so many offenses and Nama Vasa and all these things are doing. But let's assume that we reach to that stage, and that is where also Radharani, Shri Radhe helps us to make progress. And it's chanting is, again, I'm telling you, it's a cooperative phenomena. If you continue doing that, chanting itself helps us to chant more and engage our very soul in it. So what Prasad Prabhu did, that it physically seeming like impossible task for any of us, because one single round, if you really want to chant nicely, full engagement, it takes about close to 2 hours, right? So you just multiply 92 rounds that he chanted, it goes beyond 24 hours. How is it possible? But this is what happens. Sri Radhe is the one who help us accomplish that is next to impossible. Because all these limits are, we are talking in material terms. But here now I invoke spirituality, where time is there. Yes, Kalos mean time. Krishna is himself is a time, but his influence is not there. So many things we accomplish beyond the time and space. Time and space is materially limited, but not the spiritual element. There's eternal present is there. Okay, so that is the aspect, one aspect of that particular key slide. I wanted to understand that. But the point really I raised in that key slide, because it says that a pure name, pure chanting is done only by the pure spiritual form, original spiritual form that we get only after we become liberated, right? So while we are living, while we are chanting here in this body, how to understand that? That was my point actually. So how it is accomplished? That spiritual form that he's talking about, is it spiritualize our subtle body? But then it cannot be, because here original spiritual form that we get when we become liberated, we drop both subtle body and material body both. We are not talking about Jivan Mukta here.
Yes.
So that is the point. How do we understand that actually?
I think. Sorry, bro. Just my understanding is that this talking
but
about.
You understood the point. Yes. First point that you raised. Yes. About, because the questioner was asking Rajnatha that because it is a sound vibration, right? But that sound vibration is not. It seems like material, like any other sound, but it's not quite exactly. It is a spiritual sound vibration. So that point I hope everybody's clear about that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But now we are asking a different point. What is that saying, that verse? This original spiritual form, only that can chant pure holy name. How do we understand that? That's what it is. Point.
I mean, so basically,
yes, certainly there is a speculation involved, but it's not a mental speculation. Prabhupada said mental speculation is that we should avoid, right?
Yes.
But this is a philosophical speculation.
Correct.
Foundation of philosophical speculation is scriptural evidence. So what the scripture says, from that point of view, we should think about it. So think about it. This is something to think about it in your leisure time. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I think Radha Vinod Prabhu.
Prabhuji, again, I'm just taking to the same and just trying to clarify. Prabhu asked wonderful question. That was also I was coming up. So what we understand, and let me clarify, critical thinking you are talking about. So Ladini Shakti comes only when we are spiritualized, and that we understood. But since Ladini Shakti is with the Radharani, because of his her causeless mercy, even though we are not pure, our body is not pure, it is not there, still it's material with the linga and gross sharir, all those things are there. But Radha's mercy, because of her mercy, we can chant and get some benefit. And as we continue, as you say, this is a collaboration. As we continue, the love develops at a pure. Is that the understanding, Prabhuji?
Yes. See, it sounds like that we have to reach to Bhava Bhakti level to be able to reach to that stage, right? Purity of the chanting. But she is so merciful, even when we are so fallen, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but in the mood of Srimati Radharani. How did he even help Jagai Madai, the most sinful personalities, most fallen? So that is the mercy of Sri Radhe. Even when we are not at that stage, we are still on a sadhana stage. Sri Radhe, all she watches is sincerity. If we are sincere, then she does everything. She makes us to make progress on the devotional path. Okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
And she overlooks our shortcomings. And she transmits that to Krishna, that here is this devotee, you really ought to have a second look at him. That Krishna might, if we are not doing properly, Krishna would not look at us again. Krishna goes strictly by book, right? But Krishna always listens to what Radha has to say. And Radha is particularly merciful. So when I say cooperative phenomena of the chanting process is all due to Sri Radha's potency. And that is what it means when the Ladini potency descends in our heart. Sri Radha takes control of that. Actually, even Krishna himself takes charge of that. We heard, but Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pratipurvam, right? At that point in devotee's life, Krishna is already there in our heart, right? Heart means, again, we are talking about not the heart as the organ, but the heart of the matter, heart of this physical being. Our physical being is the heart. That heart I'm talking about, okay? So Krishna is there as a super soul in everyone's heart, okay? And super soul's role is to help us guide in our material existence. But in a devotee's heart, Krishna, super soul is his expansion. Now he takes personal charge of the devotee and gives him the intelligence, guidance, knowledge, everything that what we need to make progress on devotional path. Okay, so that Krishna is there, but even more than that, Sri Radha is there in our heart, and she makes progress. She allows us that cooperative phenomena we are talking about is because of Sri Radha. So she is the personification. She is the embodiment of the very bhakti process itself. That we should never forget. She is the personification of bhakti, because nobody can personify bhakti, because her love for Krishna, in serving Krishna in bhakti process, is she herself. She is the embodiment of the very bhakti process itself. She is the Bhakti Devi, actually, her expansion. And because of that, some impossible task that what Prasad Prabhu seemingly achieved is because of Radharani's mercy. He made up his mind to do that particular day or night. But he took more than 24 hours to accomplish that task, is because of that. She must have seen that resolve, that he decided, Prasad Prabhu, that I want to try and do this thing, accomplish that thing. She allowed her to do that by her mercy. So that is what seemingly impossible things beyond time and space is only possible because of she is the spiritual potency. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji. This was hanging in my mind for a very, very long time. I think last class also we developed a little bit, but you clarified with the slide much more, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I wanted to promote the critical thinking,
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Now we are almost time up now. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Please, any burning question? Yes, Lalita Priya Mataji, you have some question or anybody? Okay, all right. Okay, there are no more questions. And since the time is up, I'm going to request Saga Prabhu to conclude the class with Nishima prayer. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaine. Praladaladaine. Hiranyakasipurvakshahat. Hiranyakasipurvakshahat. Chilatankarnathale. Chilatankarnathale. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Bhai Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, Bhai Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, Narasingha Madin Sranam Prapade, Narasingha Madin Sranam Prapade. Tavakala bhare nakhaadbhuta singham dalita hiranyakasipu tanubringam kesavadita narahari rupa jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare Tavakala bhare nakhaadbhuta singham dalita Hiranyakasipu tanubringam Kesavadita narahari rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय सप्रपात की जय चारु प्रभु की जय शरद प्रभु की जय गुरुदेव की जय ऑल assembled devotee की जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम सार प्रभु
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Saga Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. All glory to Shri Prabhupada. All glory to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glory to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. All glory to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. So I look forward to see you all tomorrow. And let me remind you, at the end of tomorrow's class, we'll have about half an hour brainstorming session, especially my core teammates. But any of you want to participate, you're more than welcome, Haribol, because more the merrier, more ideas can develop. Hare Krishna, Haribol, all Krishna Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Haribol, thank you. Thank you, Asha.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Bhaiji.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Sanjeev Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
तुम करिए ना साइकिलिंग
हाँ?
करिए ना
Namaste, Benji. Okay. Hare Krishna.